Claire, we know about Claire Daly.
I can die now. That makes me very happy.
Could you trace your journey? When did you arrive in New York, and what did you do to make your way in this music? Because you're a pioneer. Let's
see. When I was a kid, a pioneer. That's such a weird thing, but okay. I just loved the saxophone from the age of 12, and I knew at the age of 12 that I wanted to do this. And I went away to Boston. I went to Berkeley 100 years ago, and then came back to New York afterwards, or stayed up there and was in bands, working in rock bands and different bands and stuff after school. I thought I was going to get out of school and become a bebop player or something. I don't know, but that wasn't realistic. And I got in a working rock band, and I took lessons with people, and I practiced, and it was a great time in my life. Moved to New York and spent maybe 20 years doing like every side person gig, every little gig. At some point I said no more parades. I remember that was a big day. And and just a million gigs, and some of them were really fun, and some of them were paid a lot of money, and some of them were for some other personal reason. I usually know why I'm there, but then I just decided, and I was, already like hitting middle age, and I just decided I want to make a record of my own. I've been on a lot of other people's doing different things, and I thought, well, if I'm just going to pick a bunch of tunes that I've loved my whole life, and I'm just going to make a record. And it was called Swing Low, and it just happened to, I had been on Koch Jazz with Joel Forrester, and Donald Elfman there said, if you want to do something, we'll put it out. We'll put it out. So it got out on a label that had some distribution, and it did. It did far beyond my wildest dreams. I honestly made that record thinking this will make really good Christmas presents, because I just couldn't even. I didn't know how to shop a record, or I didn't know anything from the business. I never paid attention to what label anything was on. I wasn't one of those people that knew every Blue Note, release number and all that. Like I don't know. I just was listening to jazz all the time and playing as much as I could. So that was the first record, and that caught a wave. And the cumulative, that was in 1999. So it's 15 years later. The cumulative energy of continuing and just keeping on playing and trying to record as much as I could has done a lot. The last CD, I had decided after the Mary Joyce project about 2 years ago, or one of my CDs, that I wasn't going to probably make any more CDs, because it just felt like a vanity project, and I just felt like I don't have to do. And that's when the North Coast Brewing Company called, Doug Moody called and said, we want to do a record of Monk tunes with you. And that baritone Monk did the best of any of my CDs yet. So the cumulative, you can't know where the path is going. I think you just keep taking the action, and the cumulative energy, whatever, leads us, I guess, to where we're supposed to be. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, well, Claire, what you're saying is that not only in jazz but in life we're improvising. And
all the time.
That's what we're doing. I mean, and that's, like Kiku was saying, I mean, these are skills that you learn through learning to play music and playing with other people. I mean, you're learning about improvising, you're learning about patience, you're learning about collaboration, and when it's your turn to lead and when it's your turn to be part of the group and support and spotlight someone else. So, I mean, these are huge things that, if we can do more and more and a better job of getting that message across to young people and people who influence young people, teachers and administrators all around the country and the world. I mean, can we get them to understand better that whether or not someone becomes a jazz musician and comes to New York to slug it out, this is going to be a positive influence in their life and something that develops their ear and their intellect. And I think even the most important thing we're doing as musicians is showing people of all ages, but particularly those young people who want the instant gratification, that music comes from people. It doesn't come out of speakers. I mean, it has to come out of people before it comes out of speakers. So, I mean, that's something that, as I see young kids, they often, their conception of what a song is very much about production. But we're showing, like, no, you make this and you're communicating something, like Angeleisha was saying. Like, what do you want to say? You know, this is a tool for expression. So that's, I think, what makes it so powerful for us being involved in it, and that it's part of the power of how we can pass it on.